Hey everybody, slightly louder, hopefully easier to hear audio Doctor right here. And we are playing a red deck wins game, but sort of. Before we get into that, thanks so much. The support I've been getting lately has been pretty great. We're getting more subs, we're getting some nice comments in the comment section. I really love you guys, it's been great hearing from you. News of the giveaway, I'm also going to be adding a copy of Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice to that, on top of the Red Faction Remastered code that I've still been holding on to. But we'll deal with that once we hit that sweet 100 number. But on to the deck tech here. We're not running your standard mono red, hit face, turn right, smork, win by turn 3 with our all of our chain whirlers and our steamkins and wizards, all that fun stuff. No. With the advent of Core 2020, we've gained the addition of 3 different Chandra planeswalkers, and something that can let us double, pretty much get multiple loyalty uses out of each one a turn through Chandra's regulator. Plus, the way they curve is quite nicely. We have a 3-drop into a 4-drop into a 5-drop into a 6-drop, and the way they all work is pretty flawless. A 3-drop Chandra here. She either puts a loyalty counter on each red planeswalker we control, go figure. All of our planeswalkers in our mono red deck are red. She can just use her other 0 activation to create some hasty elementals to apply some pressure. Next up on the list here, the Novice Pyromancer. Elementals we control get +2/+0 until end of turn. These are elementals she's summoning, so we can make them 3/1 beaters each turn. She can ramp us into our 6-drop Chandra. She can shock something multiple times before dying. We're going to take a step back to War of the Spark, where we have our engine. Play her on turn 4. We're going to uptick her. What can you do? Chances are you're not going to be able to play the card you exile, but if it's a land drop you need to make, all the better. Whenever she takes damage or loses a loyalty counter, you get a ping either an opponent or a planeswalker. With her and the Acolyte of Flame giving her counters, it's going to be very fast for us to get to the alt, so we can pressure our opponent very quickly with that. Same thing goes with Chandra Awakened Inferno. Uncounterable, great against control. The -3 is a sweeper. The -X is really good single target removal because it has an exile effect. And the +2 is an emblem that at the beginning of our opponent's upkeep, the emblem deals 1 damage to them. And with the addition of Chandra's regulator, we can pay 1 mana to activate the loyalty trigger twice. So with her, we can pretty much every turn be an unremovable source of 2 damage to them each turn. That turns to 4, turns to 6, etc. Draw 2 with Chandra, pump the hell out of elementals from Chandra Acolyte of Flame. But outside of just hoping we get to play Chandras, we have to have other things we have available to us. Chain Whirlers can deal with any go-wide strategy, first strike, very resilient creature. We're in the right colors to run it, there's no reason we shouldn't be. Embercat is ramp, it's also an elemental, so it plays off our elemental synergies with the Novice Pyromancer. Triumph, removal, we're running Chandras, so we actually get the bonus of the Triumph card, fantastic. It's a bolt. Treasure Map lets us find what we need, as well as potential ramp if we actually get the Treasure Cove out, the treasure tokens. It lets us potentially curve into Chandra quicker. Shock's a shock, removes an elf, and other important threats. One thing I did not mention about the regulator, though, is it does have a... I'm trying to remember the term. I think it's a looting effect, where we have to discard a mountain or a red card, draw a card. So if we are flooding out, because we're running quite a few lands here, we will always have something that we're able to discard to find something else. So it's pretty fantastic. That being said, and me not taking a moment to breathe in this 4.5-minute blurb, let's get into a few games, see how this deck performs. Okay, so loading into our first game against Mz. And this time the Chandra avatar is intentional here, same thing with the Chandra card backs. Let's see, a 2-lander is a little bit suspicious here, but with regulator, I think we will have what we need to draw into what we want, plus we're on the draw, so... Let's see, opponent is playing a mountain. I feel like we can go out on a limb here and assume they are just hoarding a shock. Oh no, we're looking at probably a Phoenix list. They probably do have that shock in there. Yeah, there's the crackling there. Resolve our regulator. Probably won't be using that for a turn or so because we can just play our Chandra Acolyte of Flame. I don't think the elemental is too important for us to play this coming turn. Especially if they are going to be holding, more likely than not, multiple shocks and lightning bolts. We want to keep her loyalty up so that she's relevant, not just removed. So let's see here. Are they running a Spell Pierce? Opt, okay. That is what I like to see, especially if it is a Arclight list. Them just opting on their
living in a
Archer
monastery full of
and not on
firebrands?
theirs.
It's awesome.
And subsequent
Fire
turns, we're going to
spreads
be able to
fast.
use Chandra's
What
Regulator
hell?
as well. There we go. There is a crackling Drake. And now here is the fun part. We do control a Chandra Planeswalker. So instead of this just doing a bolt's worth of damage, it does 5.
Let's light
Which
it up.
is pretty fantastic. So what we can do is get 4 elementals coming out this turn. Do you want to trigger this? I sure do.
Don't worry.
There we
Don't
are. So we
worry.
have 4 Hasty
brought
Boys
company.
doing Hasty Boy things, smorking for 4. And we are probably going to be using Chandra's Regulator to dump one of our Awakened Infernos. This is a dead draw for us currently. No need for us to have 2. We can downtick this one to recur our Chandra's Triumph. Of course, if we can avoid... Artisan's pretty good. I still think it's in our interest to remove Crackling Drake. So let's see, we have 4, 5 mana. To play this, wouldn't have enough to do the Chandra's Triumph, so I think for the time being, I'm okay just nuking this Crackling.
Sit back and watch it burn.
Let's see, it would cost us... yeah. Yeah, I think we're able to be greedy here. No, it cost us 3 mana to actually use our Mobilist District, and that would be tapping in, so yeah. We're fine, just double elementaling here.
Don't worry. I brought company. Oh, they're so cute.
And of course, we do have the land available to us to allow us to Lightning Strike at instant speed. Okay, yeah, there's the first shock, okay.
Throw another punch, and you're gonna get burned.
I'm expecting her to eat a bolt right away, if we're going to be quite honest here. Bolt or just a hard cast Phoenix. Ooh, a Discovery, okay. Did they manage to bin any Phoenixes yet? I actually haven't seen any. No, they have 3 Crackling Drakes in there, alright. There's Lightning Strike, fair enough.
I don't have enough swears right now.
And a radical idea. Okay, they're definitely trying to find a Phoenix to bin. Thankfully, they haven't hit it yet. Ah, there it is, okay. We're still in the clear, we have removal available to it. And it's only the 1, and they've spent a lot of their cards in hand. So let's just get rid of that problem here. So we're going to play Chandra first, just in case we hit a land drop.
What? My hair is on fire? I know.
This is a weird one. I'm fine with this just because
There's
this
no problem.
is a
Fire.
lot of
This
pressure
is just gonna
that
be
they're up
bad
against.
for you.
We are going to have to exile one of these lands, which is a bummer here. But getting her ticked up to her ult very quickly is a very big threat for opponent. Now let's see, they do have access to 4 cards in hand. Finale of Promise does bring back their Phoenix. But with that being said, we will be able to play Big Chandra next turn. Sweep the board, no matter what they actually hit. So I'm not too concerned. And then after that fact, we can just keep double upticking with her. Fiery Cannonade, that's thankfully a pretty dead card against us. There we go, there's the Finale of Promise. Lightning striking my face, I'm okay with. Not happy about it, but I'm okay with it. Did they only still have the 1 Phoenix in their graveyard? That's good, I gotta count myself lucky. Or rather, they have the 1 Phoenix in there for now. Yeah, it looks like just the 1, which is definitely lucky for me, because they're over halfway into their deck. Yeah, it's going to be hitting my face. Alright. Fair enough. Another Chandra. So, let's see what shenanigans we can do here.
Let's start at a sizzle and see
Minus
if you make it to
3.
the inferno.
We're going to decline that one
Get
here.
out of my way. Or, you know,
And we
don't.
are going to... I think getting her in ult
Sit
range
back and watch
is
it burn.
very
This is
scary
just
for
gonna
our
be bad
opponent.
for you.
It is shitty that we are losing access to those cards, but just making her an ever-present threat is very good for us. And if we hit another land drop, we have a silly play. Let's see what opponent does here, though. If they end up just being able to get a Arclight out... Nope. Okay, we won. Awesome. So it looks like they wouldn't have been able to chain cast their spells. We would have been having the double upticks with Chandra just ending the game for us. Awesome. Let's see what it looks like and how it performs in our next game. Okay, so we're jumping into another game against Negrotsukul, playing Nice Jaya. And it's a 2-lander with Shock, and we have our Chandra-specific ramp. So I'm okay keeping this. Because this will, if we choose to go that route, allow us to play a turn 3 Fire Artisan. The Negrotsukul, what would you be doing with that? You just holding shock mana? If so, I have a bunch of Ember Cats that I can play. Just gonna shock it? That's fine. I'm a-okay with that. Electromancer, land drop, perfect. Love you so much. We're gonna be clapping back on him, playing our Ember Kitty again, and saying, hey, don't do it. Yeah, you have to spend 2 full mana for that now. Unlucky for us, they already have a Phoenix in the bin. So we have access to 4 mana. Artisan gives us the chance to actually hit our next land drop with the exile effect.
Let's light it up.
Shitty to be losing that. Chandra's Triumph is very relevant. What we can do starting next turn is trying to figure out if we want to Ember Cat to get us into Awakened Inferno territory a turn sooner, or if it's more important for us to get Acolyte of Flame out. Opponent's kind of trying to make our decisions for us here. I really want to hit my land drop here. So we're going to be getting a little bit greedy.
What's that no problem fire can't solve.
Okay, it sucks to lose those two, but we have gone through a lightning strike, a chain whirler, a triumph, and I think we drew into another Ember Cat without hitting a land drop. So yeah, it sucks to lose that, but we are ticking up the Fire Artisan very quickly. Finale of Promise does allow them to get their Arc Light out.
Feel my pain!
That's fine. I think we were getting them in a position where they might have been a little bit concerned about us actually getting her ultimate off. So far, it doesn't look like they've been able to hit a second Phoenix. Oh, and one thing I did fail to mention, I think. Against Phoenix decks, if they just have the one bird out, all we have to do is -2 the Chandra to get the exile effect off. Now, they could have shock mana up, or it could just be holding priority with opt. So knowing that we hit our land drop here, we're not going to pay 1.
This is just gonna be bad for you.
We're gonna have that available to us. Do we? Yeah, we have shock in the bin, so that allows us to play our Acolyte of Flame. We are able to down tick her to recur the shock. We do not want to pay the regulator cost here. So we are going to get rid of this Arclight Phoenix. So they're going to have to do a bunch of standard Arclight shenanigans to get that one back. Or they're going to have to get rid of our walkers here with their own burn. But at its worst right now, next turn we're going to be able to get this Chandra up to 6 loyalty if we go that route. It could just be a better play for us to
beat me.
Double elemental and just start swinging in their face for 4.
I am judge, jury, and electrocutioner.
Yeah, I'm actually not hating that line of play, because we can play our Mountain, play our Ember Cat, which will give us access to 6 mana, which will allow us to play Chandra the following turn, the Awakened Inferno. But we'll see what we find. How many... Oh, they're duplicating the effect with Ral Storm, so let's see.
I'm telling Mother Ludi on you!
This isn't over.
Yeah, they're able to get rid of that one, which is a bit of a bummer. Let's see, it needs to be 3 instant and sorceries. Now, I haven't been keeping track. I think this might just be 2. Yeah, that was just 2 there. Thankfully, for our sake anyways. Now, what can we do here? Like we said, we can Ember Cat. We can double uptick our Chandra. Yes, I'd love to, thank you.
Let's light it up! What's that smell? Oh,
make our land drop. Sadly, we're going to be saying goodbye to this Chain Whirler. End turn. The regulator here is a really good regulator target, go figure, so we're just going to be binning that. They potentially do have removal for Chandra here, but if they do kill her, we can at least nuke Ral. Followed by getting our Chandra. Let's see, we'd have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana, so we'd have enough to double uptick her, which would get her loyalty count to 10. So that might put her out of burn range, so it might not even be worth it to use her as removal.
Feel the fury of the
see
tempest.
What they're able to do here. So they do down tick, so they have a way to... They want to get rid of Ral. They have something in mind that will either replace him on the board. Oh, okay, they're doubling up on Finale. That's cool. Yeah, Finale of Promise is a card that I kind of wanted to play with, but personally, I don't own a single Arclight, and it's kind of an investment. But yeah, depending on how much damage they get through this turn, I think that is when we're going to have to decide whether or not we're going to be wanting to sweep the board, or if we are just going to get greedy and just get a lot of triggers off with Chandra. Right now, we're kind of just stuck watching opponent do his things here. Thank God so much of this is automated in Arena. So they have currently they have 2 arc lights in the bin. Combat phase, etc., etc. Some birds. Wipe the board. Trying to figure out if they are just going to be trying to go face, or if they're going to try to get rid of our Chandra we have. I'm kind of the mindset I'm hoping they just hit face, because having another Chandra, it's always good. Let's see. One's going there, one's going face. Can't do anything with Electro. So we're just going to be discarding that. And we're going to be getting a good amount of damage off on them. Now we have to figure. We're going to be wanting to tap this just so we actually use the mana, because if we just play this, we're not going to tap the cat, and we're not going to be able to regulator if we went that route. So now we have to decide. Do we want to down tick our Chandra, remove these Phoenixes? Because right now they're going to have 3/6. We'll have a blocker with the Ember Cat. Double uptick this, get them taking 2 damage. They get down to 6, and then the next turn would be 4 damage. Yeah, I feel like it would be a 3-turn clock, and they'll kill us sooner than that, I believe. So yeah, I'm fine with how this is tapping. No, I'd like to have 1 mountain free. Or block the Electro. No, we're wiping the board. We're just gonna tap you, play you. Can't be countered, so even if they had a Spell Pierce, it wouldn't work here.
I'm Chandra, the immolation
Deal
sensation.
3 damage to everything. No, I'm good, thank you.
Check out these fireworks.
Next. End turn. Yep, you're a good little fire cat. Let's see. Thankfully, they don't have the Electromancer. I stand corrected. So they have 1 spell done, which they are more than happy keeping on top. That'll be a Lightning Strike as their second spell, so we're just going to get this part done and over with now. Chain Whirler doesn't quite do it for us. 3rd spell. Okay, so they're definitely going to be getting their Phoenixes back. So what was it again? 2 Phoenixes, yeah. So this board state is looking awfully familiar to me. So let's see what we have available to us. We have a Chain Whirler, we have a Lightning Strike. Chain Whirler doesn't directly remove anything as it stands. The only thing it can do is block out the Electromancer. So I'm not too keen on it. I'm trying to figure out what we want to do with this. 3, 4, 5. If we need to, we just drop the mountain after that for our next turn on their turn. Yeah, because for the time being, Chain Whirler is only blocking their Electro. See, so they're just hard casting their Arc Light here. Using this, bin a mountain. See if we can get lucky here at all into another Chain Whirler. Not quite what I would have wanted. So we're probably going to be taking at least 6 damage here. They're opting. Put it on the bottom, man. He's putting it on top. Okay. That concerns me a little bit. In my mind, that's just screaming that he just has burn. So what are we looking for? We're looking for Big Chandra. We are looking for a land that we can dump to get Big Chandra out potentially. Because, yeah, she's a 6 mana. 7. Chain Whirler doesn't do anything. Okay. Get rid of our Whirly Boy. Still technically alive. Chandra's Triumph does allow us to technically stay in the game unless they have burn. What do you got for me, bud? Yeah, sadly that does it. That super does it, okay. No, we can't do it to ourselves. Okay, he had us in multiple ways, even if he didn't have that arc light. Even if he didn't have that arc light there. Okay, so we're 1-1. It looks like this might be another episode where it comes to a tiebreaker. And yeah, let's see how that goes for us. Okay, so we're looking at the tiebreaker tonight against Klopak. Sadly, win or lose, this is going to be the last game. Ooh, this is a questionable hand, but getting Regulator early can just let me discard these mountains I don't need. We have early removal. We have Ramp Chandra. This is the one I'm the most iffy on, if we're going to be quite frank here. But it's new. It's our red deck wins Chandra Tribal, so see how that pans out for us. I'm just concerned at her worst, she's going to be a 4-cost shock, which isn't great. So opponent slams down an Overgrown Tomb to a forest. Golgari something. There's that Wild Boy. So as a matter of fact, it might not be a turn 2 Regulator. It's going to be a turn 2 Triumph because, well, we do have the ability to deal up to 5 damage with a single piece of removal. Wild Growth Walkers can get much bigger than that really quick. Yeah, especially with a Jade Light Ranger. He would have been hitting that toughness just this turn. Opponent's getting both land drops, which makes me pretty comfortable in playing this Chain Whirler. Sure, they still get the land. They're going to be hitting the next 2 drops, but at least we get rid of a threat. Merfolk Branch Walker, does this thing hit? Okay. Still not too intimidated yet. Let's see, what do we want to do here? I think we are okay playing Regulator. She would be cool to resolve, but we'll potentially be doing that next turn. Opponent might be holding onto a cast down or something. Just want to figure that out before I Ember Kitty. I have a nasty habit of not doing things on my second main. So... Do I play my cat? Doesn't really let me do anything that I can't do as it currently stands, so yeah, let's just hold back our mana. We can Regulator if we need to, we can Shock if they're playing something else. Jade Light Ranger, depending on how big this boy gets. Okay, yeah, probably should have shocked it when it dropped. Yeah, they're just holding onto that Verascas to make sure they hit their shit. Which is fine. The 2-1 I'm not too scared about. We're not even going to be shocking that one. I don't hate the idea of doing it onto the Branch Walker because it's a target we can hit it. This can die to Chain Whirler. Now what do we bottom here? I don't know. Let's see what we draw into. We hit a mountain. So we have 5 land available to us. If we play our Novice Pyromancer, we can down ticket, remove the Branch Walker. Jade Light swings in. We can double down ticket to remove the Jade Light. They do have Karn's Bastion and the mana to actually get the Proliferate off. Yeah, I'm not too happy with that line of play. I'm still thinking our
I'm
big
Chandra.
mistake
Nice to meet
was
you.
actually, yeah, sadly, not shocking this as soon as it came down.
I sure hope you can't handle the heat.
But that does keep her above the loyalty, so they can't just kill it with Branch Walker. But I'm not happy about seeing Liliana here.
What a good, mindless minion.
Let's see, so we're down to 1 loyalty on her.
I'm getting all fired up.
We might have to down tick her, let's see. I think we are at the point where we can get rid of Ember Kitty. We have this Chandra available to us. Play mana here. Can't down tick, we can up tick her just to get her up there, but let's see. I think it might be.
I am hot,
my
aren't
Contempt
I?
in hand is really, really shitty. Not gonna lie to you. May as well make her
Let's light it up.
be forced into a situation where she's going to
It's you burning.
have to contempt our Fire Artisan. Getting messages at 3 in the morning. Who the hell?
Putrid, but effective.
Yeah, there's a contempt like we thought.
This was a waste
The
of my
one
time.
thing that I'm a little bit bummed out, I think it's in Core 2020 that they just printed that Mono Red deals 2 damage to everything sweeper. Right now, that is definitely a card I'd want to see, but that's more of a, to me, I think a best of 3 card.
I'm not comfortable
Something you
sitting
would
around.
sideboard in against
Sorry.
something like this. Oh, well, this is fun. Okay, yeah, this is really good for us. What can this hit? This can just hit target creature. So, shitty news. Opponent is going to be getting
Let's make this quick.
ton
I've got other things to
of card draw off of this. But if they don't have a good way to actually deal with Chandra this coming turn, we're going to be able to get multiple emblems triggering,
Waste not,
which is pretty
want
good.
not.
Now, is there a decent chance they drew into more Planeswalker removal? There sure is. And I'm not gonna lie, it still doesn't look good for us. They could be having Elder Spell in hand. There's a lot that they
Rise
could
and
have.
shine.
I'm thinking they might have actually had the win there and just didn't see the line. Because they could have proliferated up their Bastion. It wouldn't have guaranteed because I would have been able to keep the...
this again.
This would have been 1 mountain, would have been able to keep the singular Planeswalker I have available to me. But let's see. Also on that note, this does lead us in a position where we can only uptick once. So let's get that emblem ticking.
Looks like
Let's see how
someone's
this
getting a
turns
little
out.
sweaty.
And no matter what we do, we're just going to just lightning strike that real quick. I made a mistake and that was not doing it on our phase, but thankfully the emblem puts a hold.
Pay for that.
So we have them on a 20 turn clock. On board, they have access to 4 damage against Chandra. Assuming Vivian doesn't hit an explore
Meet
creature
my
for Wild
newest
Growth
friend.
Walker. Not quite, no, it's a proliferation. That's cool, that's fun. Our down tick with Chandra doesn't hit Wild Growth Walker, which is a bummer. Let's see, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, even if we did have the... Yeah, we won't have the loyalty to down tick. We're just going to be able to
If you
uptick.
wanna
That's all we
fight,
got going for
you
us.
got it.
Death by 1,000 cuts and flooding. Yeah,
Is it just me?
I should probably
or is it
just
getting a
GG
little
our
warm
opponent
in
here.
here?
Okay, so sadly, in my self-imposed best of 1, best of 3 fight, we went 1 and 2. I think there's some tweaks. I mean, like I said, I did get a bit of a sideboard ready for this guy. I'm not too confident if I really want to be taking this into best of 3. In this case, running some Sarkhans. I don't know if this is good, but something about just punching face with a bunch of Chandras is hilarious. Flame Sweep was the one I was talking about. It hits 2 damage to each creature, except for our creatures with flying. We're not really running too many creatures, and the ones that we are running, outside of essentially being Chandra mana dorks, are our Chain Whirlers, which are 3/3, so they would survive the sweeper either way. Lava Coils, we probably would have been boarding in for that to deal with more Wild Growth Walkers. Other like Phoenixes in general, all that fun stuff. Fries, just color hate. Can't be countered. If they are running an Azorius Flyers list, if they are running Esper list with Planeswalkers, Super Friends, Jeskai, all that fun stuff. Can't be countered. And if that thing is blue or white in a creature, or blocker, boom, 5 damage. Cool card. Direfleet Daredevil. In some decks that allow us not to have fun, we can clap back and use their fun against them. Whip out their Thought Erasures, their Duresses, whatever they have available to them from the yard, throw it back in their face. At its worst, it is a 2/1 first striker for 2, which isn't all that bad. And now, here's where I'm at a little bit of a loss. I feel like in a meta where people are really enjoying the hell out of reanimation-themed decks, and Command the Dread Horde exists, I feel like you need to have some silver bullets. I'm not sure if I'm running not enough, or if I should be running more, but here's what we do have. And I'm not sure which ones we even want to be running. So we have access to Graph Digger's Cage, it's a 1-mana artifact. Creature cards in graveyards and libraries can't enter the battlefield. You also can't cast spells from graveyards or libraries, so anything with, not flashback, what's the trigger technically on like a Chemist's Insight? There we go, Jumpstart. That card is in your graveyard, can't cast that. Awesome. Creatures, any reanimation thing, if it's in your graveyard, no, it can't enter the battlefield, it stays down there. They're trying to recur some creatures with Tamiya. Well, actually, yeah, they can still do that. Ignore me, I'm a bit of an idiot tonight. So yeah, this one seems pretty solid. It's a nice silver bullet against that. Sentinel Totem. This one is a little bit, I think it's a little bit weaker. It's only at an uncommon, so that is fair. It gives you the Scry effect, which is definitely worth looking into. We also have the Exile effect on it. That's the big, I hate your graveyard, etc., etc. Board is wiped. You're against some Sultai command list that you're already frustrated in dealing with. You know it's coming. You play this. Soon as you see them cast that, if they don't have a way to do that, things are resolving on the stack, you just exile all that shit. Don't let them have fun. If they're trying to take away your fun and play stupid no-think Dreadhorde decks, just tap that to the right. Exile all the graveyards. We don't care about ours. Hell, with our Chandras, we're exiling them half the time. But yeah. Now, the list didn't do as well as hoping. Could involve some changing. Might involve getting some weird different lands that aren't just mountains. Something with like a scry effect. Like, I suppose you could even run the new duels. There's also that old one that is colorless scry, but I feel like that's less strong. But yeah, as usual, etc., etc. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate the feedback you guys have been giving. Trying to be a little bit less salty and hoping to be a positive influence on the community. But doesn't always happen, especially after getting 3-ferried for about 10 minutes in that first Esper match the other night. But for now, I'm Dr. Et, and I'll catch y'all next time. Bye for now, everybody!